Haven't done WEC preview in some time, and if I could center the camera, I would be greatly pleased. There we are. WEC, don't know what number. It's the Bowles versus Cruz card, though. 40 something. Let's get to the fights. Main card. Karen. Go try it. Benavidez versus Bart Palashevsky. I'm looking forward to this fight. Both guys are more of a stand-up oriented fighter. Bart obviously is the classic gatekeeper man with 13 losses on his record, and mostly that's from people taking him down because his takedown defense, despite the fact that he's been in the game for like ever and actually trains with some decent wrestlers, he can't stop a takedown to save his life. Karen might take advantage of that, but I think he's going to try to stand with him. I kind of hope he does because I want to see that. I mean, these two guys both have some very good hands. I'm going to go with Karen just because he has that option to take down Bart. I think his ground game is to the point where, though Bart is actually quite good off his back, I don't think he'll submit him. I think he'll win it by unanimous decision because Bart's a tough bastard to finish. Benavidez Tarlosavicius versus LC Davis. LC Davis is the smaller man, I think, in this fight. I haven't seen them side by side, but I know Benavidez wasn't exactly a small 155er. He's coming down in weight now. Benavidez has a good ground game, good wrestling game, good striking game. Basically, he's your all-around threat. LC Davis is a bit more of just a wrestler, but he's like an Energizer Bunny wrestler, if you know what I mean. He will take you down and he will do stuff. But I'm going to go with Benavidez, probably by unanimous decision, because I think he'll make it very hard for LC Davis to take him down. And I think he will give him trouble when it does hit the ground. I think he can take LC Davis down. So, there you go. Then again, I thought Diego Nunez would beat him too, so we'll see. Javier Vasquez versus Jens Pulver. A prime Jens Pulver, I'd probably take in this fight. Jens Pulver's got great stand-up, pretty decent counter wrestler. Javier Vasquez is a pretty all-around solid fighter, really. I think he's more known for his ground game, but I could be mistaken. He's lost 2 fights in the WEC, split decisions to LC Davis and Tarlosavicius, who are fighting on this card. So why he's fighting Pulver kind of confuses me. I think they're hoping he gets a win, but I think having lost twice in a row, he's going to be very, very motivated. Pulver's stand-up isn't the vaunted stand-up it used to be. His wrestling isn't the greatest it used to be either. Like Vasquez can pretty much win this fight wherever, but Pulver is not a man to be finished lightly, so going with a decision. So this is a kind of decision-heavy card. Miguel Torres versus Joseph Benavidez. Excited for this fight, but at the same time, I don't really foresee a terribly good showing from Joe Benavidez. Torres, despite the loss to Brian Bowles, I think is still the most talented 135er in the world right now. I would obviously have to rank Bowles above him if I were to do a ranking, but if I were to, you know, say who is the guy who's going to, you know, be unbeatable, it's still somewhat Torres, even though, you know, Bowles can do it. I would take Torres in a rematch, is basically what I'm trying to say. Torres is a better ground game. He's got a reach advantage over Joe Benavidez, despite maybe not having the better technical boxing. But if you have the reach advantage and you have the better ground game, it's going to be very hard for Joe to do what probably is his best bet, which is the sprawl and brawl game plan. I think at some point this fight is going to hit the ground. And I think, despite the fact that Joe, very good fighter, definitely moving out of Uriah Faber's shadow, like, just a little bit. Because he's probably like the number 3, number 4 guy in the division. Of course, he lost to Dominic Cruz, but he has some very big wins over Jeff Kerr and Danny Martinez and Ronnie Yaya in the WEC. But he's going to lose this fight. I think he's a very, very exciting prospect, and if he proves me wrong, I will be utterly not disappointed, because it means another big name to throw into that bantamweight picture that can do a lot of damage, and that's never really a bad thing. Brian Bowles versus Dominic Cruz. Battle of an undefeated fighter and a guy who's only lost once. It was not at bantamweight. It was to Uriah Faber at 145. Bowles presents a lot of the issues that Faber did for Cruz, though. I think Bowles is a better wrestler. He did pretty soundly kind of, you know, destroy Charlie Valencia, who is a better pedigree wrestler than Cruz is anyways. Cruz, I think, is a little bigger. I think I do believe he'll have the reach advantage, because I do believe he is an inch taller, and I do believe he's actually one of the more lankier bantamweights, meaning like his reach is a bit more exaggerated due to his length than just his height. That being said, I gotta go with Bowles. Better wrestler. I think he's the better technical striker, and I think he's the better grappler. And this is generally a trifecta that's hard to beat. I think probably second round, Bowles is going to get him down. I'm going to say a rear naked choke, actually. I'm going to say he gets his back and chokes him out, because Brian Bowles kind of likes the rear naked choke. Ask Will Ribeiro, ask Damasio Page, and they will tell you. This is a very good card. I'm very excited for I'm excited for Cruz Bowles. I'm excited for Benavidez versus Torres. I'm excited for Taros Avicius Davis, even though it's not the greatest of title-wise implication fights, but it's going to be an exciting fight. Pretty much guaranteed to be. Let's do a little bit of the undercard since I got some time here. Ricardo Lamas versus Bendy Casimir. Lamas probably win this just based on superior wrestling, probably with a unanimous decision. Fredson Paxiao versus Courtney Buck. Courtney Buck is just, at this point in his career, not really ready for Fredson Paxiao, and Paxiao to take him by submission. George Roop versus Leonard Garcia. George Roop has a way of being very, very scrappy, and that seems to be a bit of a weakness for Leonard Garcia. Even though I think Garcia's the better fighter, I think he's the better grappler, I think he's a better striker, I think he's a better wrestler. Roop's a tad bit larger, he's longer. I gotta go with Garcia, probably. And despite the fact that we really haven't seen Leonard Garcia pull off a submission in a while, I'm gonna say he does it. Because he does have a very good ground game, and it's often very overlooked. Danny Castillo and Anthony Pettis. Very excited for that fight. I think I'm going to give it to Pettis, despite the fact that Danny Castillo has shown that his wrestling is very good. His stand-up is quite improving. I think Pettis has the better stand-up. Pettis is a hard man to pin down. Additionally, I got to give a little love to Sean Hatch's, buddy, Pettis, the MMA professor. Not sure how he does it, because Castillo, he hasn't really shown a tendency to get knocked out, which is kind of Pettis' MO a little bit. His two losses are to submission to both Donald Cerrone and Shane Roller. But you know what? I'm going to go out on a line and say he finishes him with strikes in the third round. Chad Mendes, Eric Koch, really don't care about that fight. Scott Jorgensen versus Chad George, taking Jorgensen probably by decision, possibly submission. Jorgensen's is a big up-and-comer in the bantamweight division, and I'm not all that impressed with Chad George. And that's basically it. Anyways, that's the fight card. I'm looking forward to this fight. There's a couple good fight cards coming up, both UFC and WEC, in the next little bit, which has me kind of excited to be an MMA fan again. So, you'll probably see some more videos, because when I'm excited, I do videos. Anyways, that's all. Hope you enjoyed it.